Most people take fat burners wrong, and that's why they barely see progress. They take 2 capsules, they feel the heat, they feel the buzz, and they assume something productive is happening. It isn't. If anything, the only thing you're burning is sleep and money. First, the hard truth. Fat burners don't work unless you're already in a caloric deficit. If your calories are too high, nothing happens. Period. I've gone through all kinds of fat burners, and their job, surprise, surprise, isn't to burn fat for you. Their job is to make it staying in a caloric deficit easier. That's it. Second, timing. Fat burners work best at the end of a cut, not the beginning. When you're down to the last 5 to 10 pounds, that's when appetite suppression, the heat that comes from these kind of fat burners actually matter. So if you use them too early, tolerance builds fast, the effects fades quickly, and you have nothing left when things get hard. Third, dosing. Start with less than the label says. If the bottle says take 2, take 1. Most modern fat burners stack caffeine with things like synephrine, grains of paradise, yohimbine, these kind of like hardcore, hard-hitting stimulants. That combination spikes heart rate fast, and you really don't need your first dose making your watch think you're having a medical emergency. Run 1 capsule for a few days, pay attention to your anxiety, pay attention to your sleep, and only increase when your body clearly handles it. The goal is the smallest dose that works, not the strongest feeling. Fourth, stacking. This is where people mess things up. Do not blindly stack a fat burner with a high stim pre-workout. And if your pre-workout already has like more than 300 milligrams of caffeine, you should not add a stim-based fat burner on top of that. You'll feel terrible. You'll crash, you'll build a tolerance. But in that case, use a stim-free fat burner or switch to a caffeine-free pre-workout. Respect the total number. What do you actually expect if you do this right? Here's what fat burners really do. They reduce appetite. They increase body heat. They slightly raise calorie burning, usually to like 50 to 100 calories for many people. And they kind of like make you increase your own movement. Your natural movement becomes more, and they can reduce some water retention by clearing out the water within you, but they really do not melt the fat automatically. So if nothing changes after about 2 weeks of usage, the capsule is not the issue. It's not the fat burner, it's your calories. If you're not in a caloric deficit, it doesn't matter how strong that fat burner is, you will not lose fat. Avoid taking these also at nighttime unless you enjoy staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. And then also be careful with like the stimulants in there. Stuff like yohimbine will make you more anxious, especially if you're already anxious or anxiety prone. And it hits harder on an empty stomach. So if you feel like you're getting side effects like chest tightness, dizziness, trouble breathing, stop immediately. A fat burner is supposed to be a tool. When it's used correctly, it'll help you get leaner and it'll help control hunger. But when it is used wrong, it's just an expensive way to feel wired. So the best way to use fat burners is to save it for the very last few pounds. So if you're picking a fat burner up, you can save some money by using my code FITFRIC. Links are below the like button. So that is an affiliate code. It is not a sponsorship. But I do buy most of this stuff myself. I also get sent a bunch of products for free. But the code keeps the reviews honest. But honestly, if you are in a caloric deficit for a few months, you use a fat burner at that very last stage, it'll really help with the last few pounds, especially if you're already in a caloric deficit. You do not want to take something when you are just starting your fat burning journey, because the stimulants do build a tolerance. But if it's like a stim-free formula, you may still build a tolerance. But if you do want me to review a specific fat burner, consider dropping the name in the comments, and that's it. So there's a whole bunch of fat burners out there, but then there's ingredients that are non-stimulant that work over time. consider the formula when you are picking a fat burner. Do you want something with stimulants, or do you want something that can promote fat burning instead of forcing fat burning? But if you need help with your fat burning journey, let me know in the comments what you're struggling with the most. And I'm gonna be honest, I've used all kinds of fat burners in the past, and I've used them especially when I was already kind of like overweight and trying to lose weight. I did not lose a single pound, even with these like hardcore formulas, only because I wasn't in a caloric deficit. And these fat burners will not force that. So consider that before spending your money on a fat burner. And remember, a lot of these ingredients in fat burners are also in pre-workouts like yohimbine, synephrine. If you are on this channel, you're likely using a pre-workout with these types of ingredients. Usually the best use of fat burners is to go with something without the stimulants so you can maximize that thermogenesis. But let me know what you struggle with the most. Is it the appetite? Is it your focus, your mental game? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you later.